Ooh. Good morning from Death Valley, California. I'm filming on a Sony. Can you believe it? It's the first time for everything, I guess. It's working pretty well, so I'm not going to knock it. But the F4 crew have been hounding me. It's been extremely challenging working conditions, as I'm sure you may be able to assume. And they're just complaining all the time, especially the Brits. My goodness, just faffing on and waffling about, learning all these new words like spasmo racket and tresmendous and majestica. Weird stuff. I'm sure you can relate to this position of awkwardness. But it's time for a new video, so I'm glad you've returned to the channel. Or if you're a new subscriber, be sure to click that bell and the notifications and the likes, and if you double dislike, that's also a good thing. Twice, and all the YouTube things. But enough of the ridiculous intro. This is a top 5 tip video on the F4 tips on how to not suck. And it all starts right now. Let's go! From the sand dunes to the red rocks, this video is again sort of behind the scenes of the F4 road trip secret project, which I can't mention, but I've been working with these 4 photographers for the last like 3 weeks, traveling around the United States, helping them with this awesome project that's going to be released in the future, so you got something to look forward to there. And we've been chatting a lot about YouTube and about like certain trends and what happens in the industry, things that I think you guys know a lot about. So the idea with that is 2 videos ago we were really serious and all about like what you can do to create a YouTube channel about photography in 2020. But this time it's about the top 5 tips on how not to suck. So let's start with you. What's your first tip at how not to be shit?
Well, I'm just going to go about like life in general.
Sure.
Do you want me to talk right at the glass?
No, you can talk to me still.
I'd prefer to talk to you.
I know.
How to not suck is to go out and take pictures right now while the light's good, instead of talking to the camera for 5 minutes while the light's good. Can you ask me this question again in 10 minutes?
Yeah, sure, dude.
Because look at that.
Yeah. Right now, the light is like actually pretty good. But we're filming a vlog for Gavin. He's commandeered my services outside of what they're actually paying me for. Ridiculous. But we'll try and get into the actual reasons on how not to suck at life, not photography or YouTube.
We'll do it for sure. We'll do it for sure.
Yeah, we'll do it for sure.
Yeah, sorry I interrupted you there, mate.
It's alright.
I just had to shoot because the light was kicking off.
No,
so I'm ready now.
We're filming for your vlog, so that's important.
All right.
Yeah.
So not to suck. So I would say not to suck in general, and not necessarily anything to do with YouTube or photography, is do what you say you're going to do. If you say you're going to do something, follow through, complete it. It's always best to finish something, even if you don't finish it perfectly. And I guess even if you don't finish, what's more important is starting something and doing what you say you're going to do in general, whether it's career-based, whether it's the arts, or whether it's a relationship. Do what you say you're going to do, follow through, and be a man or a woman of your word, or whatever your gender is these days. And then the other thing I would say is try not to copy everybody. If everybody's doing the same thing, do something else, do the opposite. And especially in photography, you know, what we do as landscape photographers is things follow trends. And I get that you want to be trendy to a certain degree. You almost have to conform to what everybody else is doing, the norm.
Like top 5 tips?
Exactly, like doing a top 5 tips. I would never do a top 5 tips video. Only the worst people do those, don't they, Greg?
The worst.
You wouldn't do that, would you?
I never would.
No. So never do the same as everybody else. Or if you are going to try and game the algorithm like Greg's doing right now, and like I probably will do in a couple of weeks.
I'm just milking F4 for all.
Absolutely, totally. I totally believe you should. But if you are going to do something, try and put your own stamp on it. Try and do things your way. Try and be different. You've probably heard that saying, same is lame. It really is. Seeing the same old thing, hearing the same old thing over and over again, it's instantly forgettable, you know, whereas something that's a bit odd, a little bit different. You might not get all of the fans in the world. Not everybody's going to love it, but the ones who do connect with it will really connect with it on a deep level, and there'll be lifers who will kind of love it forever. So that's my second. Do I only get one?
No, you can have as many as you like. The first one in Canada, we'd actually call that being flaky. Do you know that saying?
Yeah, I hate when people are flaky.
Yeah, me too, actually.
But I equate flaky a bit more with like people who say, yeah, I'll see you at 3, and then they show up at 6 or not at all. I'm talking more about things like, if you make promises to people, if you say, I will meet this deadline, I will finish this on this time, do it. And try and over-deliver. Maybe under-promise and over-deliver. Do more. Go that extra mile. Try to impress people. I know that sometimes you might not think it's worth it. You might think it's a waste of time. And sometimes it is. But if you have standards, if you keep standards and you crush those standards on a regular basis, you'll always have your pride. You'll always know that you did your best. And someone eventually will recognize that and see the value in that. And you'll get that gig, you'll get that job, and your career will build on that integrity. Integrity is very important. You know who's got integrity?
Thomas Heaton.
He might not be the best photographer. Might not be even the best photographer in this 6-foot space. But one thing you can say about him, he's got integrity, hasn't he?
Yes, he does.
And the stinkiest farts I've ever smelled.
Question this time, because I'm so creative, is top 5 tips on how to not suck in general. So
at photography or in life?
No, just in life, whatever sort of insights you think, because you guys just keep on complaining about stuff. So I want you to tell.
We are quite complainy, I admit that. Because we're also miserable and cynical. Alright, how not to suck at life? It's quite simple.
If you're miserable and cynical, what's the answer?
No, miserable and cynical is good. It's good to be cynical.
Okay.
Because if you're not, then people will take advantage of you. So, being cynical is a good thing. Oh man, I've met a lot of people in my time. In my job, I meet people from day to day. And the people I don't like are those that always want something. They always want to further themselves through you. So, to not suck in life, don't be selfish, and always think about other people rather than yourself. Because if you approach somebody thinking how they can help you and they can, give you advice and they can push you forward and they can give you a job and maybe they can, whatever, I don't know, loads of stuff like that, then that's not good. But if you have more of a giving mentality, like how just basically don't be selfish, and people will really respond well to that, I think.
Which is challenging though. If I can play devil's advocate, I mean, I'm kind of sort of taking advantage of the 4 of you guys by making these videos and getting views, like milking the fact that you have these big audiences that are going to come and watch this video.
Yeah, but you've been working 18-hour shifts every day for 3.5 weeks, so I think you've given enough. No, I'm talking about people. I met a well-known photographer once. I'm not going to name his name, and he came up to me and he said, "Hello, nice to meet you." And he said, "What do you do?" And I said, "Well, I'm a photographer." He goes, "How do you make your money?" Second question, "How do you make your money?" And I said, "Hey, I'm British, come on." I said, "Well, I run workshops, I do conferences like this, and I have a YouTube channel, and I get ad revenue and things like that." Third question, "How many subscribers have you got?" I was like, "Oh, okay, about 300,000. Fourth question, "Would you like to promote my photography course? I'll give you a great commission." Fourth question, 2 minutes into a conversation, never met this guy. That was his first 4 questions. What do you do? How do you make money? And can you promote my product?
And what's your status?
My status was lovely to meet you, but it's not my thing, thank you. I was polite and I moved away. Now this guy is big, I'm not going to name his name. He's well known in the photography community, but he's a shyster. So yeah, those people, don't be one of those people. That's how not to suck. Just be nice. Just be nice and all will be fine. There you go. My advice from somebody with no life experience.
How not to suck at life. I think that people are always reaching for the next thing, but they don't really stop to enjoy what they actually have right there in front of them. And I've learned that, I mean, I'm pretty slow anyway with most things, so I try to enjoy life for the day. I don't really think ahead too often because you never know what's going to, I mean, certainly some things you have to think ahead for, but most things I generally don't try not to overthink things ahead of time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, live for the moment kind of deal.
Yeah, I do, and I really do that. I also try not to dwell on the past. In the past, I have dwelled on the past, and it really doesn't help. I mean, you can't change the past. You can certainly change the future, though. So, if anything, concentrate on the present and just keep moving forward. Don't dwell on the past. There's no point. There really isn't.
What do you think of us coming to the end of our F4 trip?
I'm looking forward to the end. I've really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the company of everybody on this trip. I get along with most people, probably because I'm more of a pacifist, if that makes sense. I'm not really a go-getter. I just go with the flow, and I think that's worked out well. I think if we all had the same personalities, it probably wouldn't have worked at all. There would have been a lot of conflict, but I think it's worked really well. I do think that everybody's pretty much ready to go home. But yeah, I think it's been great. I really enjoyed the locations. I just wish we could have spent more time at each one. But it's been an excellent experience.
You guys keep it down. I'm trying to do a piece to camera here.
I promise we won't do any shenanigans in the background.
The most important thing is kindness. You want to be kind to your peers because nobody wants to hang out with a jerk.
I have to say, Nick's not
Shut up!
kind on me.
Shut up! Another thing is to find the thing that you're passionate about. Like if you can make your, whatever it is that you're passionate about, maybe it's disc golf or maybe it's photography. If you can somehow figure out a way to do more of that in your life, for me, I've been lucky enough to, in all seriousness though, for me, like my life took off when I started investing time and energy into myself. So, in my previous life, I was working for the man, quote unquote, and I was so exhausted after working that kind of work, manual labor all day long. I'd come home and I was too tired, too lazy to really pursue anything for myself. But once I picked up photography and once my passions aligned with what I was pouring my time into, I was pouring my time into my passions. It was amazing how fast my life took off. Suddenly I was progressing really fast at photography, and I was seeing progression. I was happy, and that was the biggest difference for me. Is the more time you spend doing the things that you love, the happier you're going to be as a person. And in the end, that's what success is. Success is not measured in dollars and clients and all of that. It's measured in just happiness. I would rather be poor and happy than rich and miserable. And I think the biggest piece of advice I could give to anybody is to take time for yourself and pour that time and energy into something that you love, because you'll be happier for it.
And I want to know your thoughts as well. What are some of your top life tips on how not to suck in general? You can throw them in the comments below, and we'll have the discussion there. And my golden nugget of advice is all about creating your own opportunity. I believe that some people think that they're just going to grow up and get a job and buy a house and have this great life, but it's not the reality. You need to work hard to achieve whatever it is that you're going for. And even if you don't know what it is, nobody's gonna just give you a job. You know, you have to build your own opportunity and create the future that you want. You know, be the captain of your own fate and steer your destiny. So be it. But I you know, at the heart of the matter, I do believe that passion and purpose will lead towards creating a better future for yourself and those around you and your loved ones. You can work hard to build a better life for you. It's sort of like the American dream here in America, which is another conversation altogether, because I think our capitalist society is a bit wonky and not the future, actually. Democratic socialism. So without getting any deeper and philosophical and political, I do want to know what you think. So throw your comments in the comment section below, and be sure to check out more of the F4 crew and their videos, because I've been doing a ton of work filming for them over the last 3 weeks, and the future project is going to be really cool. So you got something very special to look forward to there. And for me now, it's back to Europe for those new subscribers. If you don't know, I travel nomadically, I live nomadic, but I am based more or less in Europe, in the EU, with my girlfriend Nelly, who is from Germany. So I'm going to reunite with her in Spain, and hopefully we'll have a lot of really good content to come from Spain before I go back to work with Brendan Van Son in Iceland. So still lots to look forward to here on the channel. And that's it from the America series. So as always, thanks for watching. I hope you like it, and I will see you on the next one from across the pond. Bye.